Meghan Kelly, who recently revealed that Meghan Markle had been obsessed with Prince Harry, so much so that she even had a mood board with the Duke of Delusion's face on. That was according to friends of Meghan Markle's ex-husband, Trevor Engelson.
Angela Levin exposes Meghan's coercive control and emotional abuse over Prince Harry. Royal biographer Angela Levin isn't holding back.
Has told me in a sensational interview that she believes there is coercive control going on in their relationship. Now, I'm going to take you through what Meghan told me earlier in the week in just one moment, and we'll get analysis from our own royal mastermind, Prince Harry's biographer, Angela Levin. But Angela, before we look at what Meghan Kelly said, what do you make of this? Because there is this growing feeling, and this is not to say, by the way, that I have any type of sympathy for Harry in the situation he's in, because I genuinely don't. I think he has caused it himself. But there is this growing sort of mood, I guess, or this movement, sorry, I mean to say, Angela, of people who say, look, if this were a woman in Prince Harry's situation with a man who had isolated them from their entire family, who had gaslit them, who had caused them to lose so much in their life, actually, there would be a lot of sympathy for Harry. So where do you stand on this one?
Well, I think I don't care whether it's men or women, but what it is that how strong the person is and how they can actually stand there and say, no, you're not going to do that. Some people are very vulnerable and scared. And if you love somebody enormously and they're overpowered you with this love, then you don't stand a chance because you can't fight back. So what you have to do is to make sure that you can be strong and demanding yourself, not let someone get away with it, because actually the other half that is doing all the nastiness, they don't respect you if you don't stand up for yourself. The other day when Harry, she ignores him when she comes out of the taxi and he walks in, just behind her doing nothing. Wanted to take her hand. She doesn't want to do that anymore. She wants to walk in. He's got to be strong. He's got to overwhelm her. He's got to put his foot down and say, no, you can't treat me like that. And I think you have to do that whether you're a woman or a man. And I think the Queen, Camilla, does a lot of coercive work, and she has told me that
she wants the
it's just
best for Charles, doesn't she? That's
no, nothing to do with Charles. I just want to say that you have to look after either of them because each one is very, very vulnerable, and they can't seem to handle that other person. I mean, if you have an argument, you need to stand up for it, and then you get over the argument. You have two best friends again.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter on the sex. It just matters on your own ability to behave in a strong
way. But there were even some hints.
In a shocking new revelation, she claims Meghan Markle is using coercive control and emotional manipulation to isolate Prince Harry from his family, friends, and even his sense of self. So stay with us as we unpack the details, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on every royal twist.
Fair though, Angela, that Meghan was controlling him, because there's a moment where he recounts the fact that Meghan had basically said, if you talk to me like that again, it's over. There's always a lot of threatening. It's going to be all over. But look, fascinating analysis. Love that. This is what Meghan Kelly had to say about this issue of coercive control and emotional abuse.
What they say, like coercive control. If this were a man doing it to a woman, we'd see it very clearly, where if you have an abusive husband, suddenly the wife is detached from all of her family and is sending emails saying, I don't want to see you anymore. Don't bother me. And then also detached from all of her friends. And he isolates her to the point where he can control her. I mean, really, just look at the reverse. Like, that's what she effectively got him to do, to alienate his entire family.
Abuse.
All of his friends, yeah. And then just to add one other point to it, you watch her and you watch him. I mean, I didn't really know this until this whole past few years. He's not smart. This is not a smart young man. And she is smart. She is very smart and she's cunning. And the more I've seen of her, the more I've seen of him, I feel like it was shooting fish in a barrel for her. Oh my God, he stood no chance when this woman put her designs on him. She had him from the word hello.
Do you agree with that, Angela, that she knew right from the start that she was going to be able to emotionally manipulate Prince Harry to get what she wants? Especially given, by the way, Meghan Kelly believes that she had this mood board with Harry's face on.
Yes, but what really got him, I think, was that she was wearing Diana's perfume and she pretended it was just happened. And obviously she'd read what a Diana perfume was and she wore that. And Harry decided that that's it, she's the one. And Diana's perfume, Africa, and he thought beauty, because she was very attractive then. Those are the three things. He's been wanting to get married for a very long time. He wanted children. He wanted to have his own little niche within the royal family. And she cunningly listened to him. I'm sure she did, listened very nicely, agreed with what he said, enjoyed everything he enjoyed. But once she'd got him, but you see, when she decided to stop that and go on to a magazine and say that they were in love, when he nearly fell apart, because that's not the way royal family announce these things. She didn't say anything about it. She just said it herself. So he was trapped. And he's talking about everyone being trapped, his father and his brother. He's the one who's been trapped from that moment when she said, this is what it is. And if you don't want, she said to him, I've been told several times, that if you don't make an announcement and say we're getting engaged and we're getting married, I will never speak to you again. Oh, he didn't want that. So she got him. Indeed. It's like being a fisherman,
Yes, indeed. Well, as Meghan Kelly said, shooting fish in a barrel. I totally agree. We also discussed, Angela, and this is another highly controversial issue, this whole idea of why they're putting the children on social media, pimping them out in the way that they are.
So Angela Levin is not some random commentator. She's a respected royal biographer who spent time shadowing Prince Harry during his working royal days. She once described him as charming, humorous, and deeply passionate about causes.
Yeah.
Very careful with your children, but don't you think it's odd that Meghan Markle talks this big game and Prince Harry talks this big game about the evils of social media, and then they've decided to post Prince Archie in his pajamas? I mean, to me, that's really weird. It's a really odd decision.
She really needs to make a decision. It's like she loves being the mother of a prince and a princess. Like, she loves that so much. And she knows that people in the UK especially would love to see them. They have a connection to the royal family. They don't like her, but I don't think anybody would hold it against her children. They'd like to see the lineage, and they're technically, I guess, in the line of succession if many, many bad things would happen. But so she just teases them. It's like, here's just the back of his head, even though she's making public figures out of them because she talks about them all the time. And Harry uses them, my father's grandchildren, as a cudgel. So they're happy to use these children at every turn, whether it's to make money or to make threats, but just to tease, because I guess we can't see their face unless it's on Netflix, in which case it's fine. Because they do put out pictures of them every once in a while.
I mean, it's really bizarre. They've shown their faces before. So the whole thing is really bizarre. And I thought Meghan Kelly summed that up perfectly, Angela, didn't she? It's like they're not just being commercialized, they're also being utilized in this awful brand of warfare against Harry's own family. And there might be a day when Archie and Lily grow up and say, I don't think you used us appropriately, because at that point they might be very keen on the British royal family, which will be their choice once they're adults.
Yeah, I have a slightly different view. My view is that she wants to keep on and on controlling Harry. So this was another step forward. She's listened to him, not putting anything up on the boards and things like that, but she wants to crunch him down even harder in a way that will really, really hurt him. And this was what it was, because the two things that he really wanted for a long time that he'd been after, one was you don't show the children because he wants to protect them, because he thinks things that happened to his mother, Princess Diana, could happen if people recognize them. And the other thing was to use the to use social media, social media, because he's fought for years to stop that because he thinks it's so dangerous. So here is Meghan, and here is the loving wife saying below that, I've taken all your friends away. I've taken all your family away. You've got nothing left. You've got no work. So now how can I get you down? And I think she would turn to this and use the children and use social media and actually prove that she's still stronger than him, and he's got to be very careful.
Yeah, true. Of course, the other big moment over the past couple of weeks, and I have to say, Angela, there is growing pressure. All of the polls now show Brits overwhelmingly want Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to lose the HRH titles. To be honest, I think there's also an overwhelming desire to even have Harry and the two children removed from the line of succession. But Megyn Kelly puts it here how messed up it is that Meghan continues to use those titles.
But since Meghan, she says he's unrecognisable. According to Levin, Meghan employs coercive control, a pattern of behaviour designed to dominate.
Would never use the titles at all. Also, though, Meghan, don't you have to be a really messed up individual to send your mate? By the way, she literally just sent him a few punnets of ice cream, right? I mean, nice thought. I'd appreciate you sending me some punnets of ice cream. Very nice. But how weird to send a few punnets of ice cream and sign it off HRH. I mean,
oh my
look,
God,
she's a messed up human being. You've got to admit.
I'm going to send you ice cream and I'm going to sign it. The Time 100s, Megyn Kelly, Dr. Megyn Kelly, thanks to my Juris doctor. That's just how I sign my things. I just want to make sure my titles are all, properly accounted. It's so self-aggrandizing. But at the same time, if anything they've said about the royal family is true, anything, you wouldn't want those titles. You wouldn't want the link. The people who didn't care that I was suicidal wanted to kill myself and basically wanted me to do it. The people who tried to have my husband killed, who my husband is now saying would like history to repeat itself so that we could die. The people who were too racist to love my baby and really concerned about how dark his skin was going to be. And I used a huge platform with Oprah Winfrey to tell the world about how the people who live in the country that I think is racist because of Brexit, those are the people to whom I am HRH, Duchess of Sussex. Like, you'd want nothing to do with these titles.
Oh my God, Angela, she's so right. And this is the complete conundrum at the heart of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's position, which still none of us can get our head around. It's like, why on earth do you hate the royal family so much, hate Britain so much, hate England so much? I mean, in the BBC interview, Angela, yet again, it was so obvious that Harry hates everything about the United Kingdom, yet for some reason they are obsessed with the titles. Why?
Yeah. Well, let me just say, I think using the titles now is yet another step, because that's even worse than saying anything else, even worse than stopping him doing things or going on social media. To use that title is, he would know that it would be appalling for his family. So Meghan's doing it because she doesn't care a hoot what he is. He's just got to follow her around like an assistant now and then and do what he's told. So if she wants to use it now, she's going to use it. But it doesn't make any sense, because in America, they don't want somebody who's an HRH. They don't want English royal family telling them what to do. She likes being part of politics, but she makes it very hard for her, ridiculously hard, if she uses that. So it's all bonkers, isn't it? You can't have it both ways. Just like the late Queen Elizabeth said, you can't have one foot in and one foot out. And she can't get over that. She can't understand it. And the reason why she hates the royal family is that she thought that she could go in, and on the second day she met the Queen, she could tell her how good she would be, that she would be much better than Catherine because she's self-made and she's got lots of good ideas. This is really true of how to run the royal family. And the Queen, I don't know what she said or how she looked at her. She probably just about controlled it, but that's what she thought, the thought she could do. And she does still think that she's, one of the world's most amazing people, and everybody should bow down to her. And it's been a big shock that the Queen, in her huge intelligence and understanding what was going on, see the pictures, how she looked at Meghan when they got married, and on other occasions, she was saying, "Oh, goodness me, help me." She would stop it, but it was ridiculous that she expected that. And Harry has gone in and spoken to his mother when she was still alive, and annoyed her very much by saying that, she's got to use Meghan more. She's got to show, she's wonderful, she's brilliant, she's got such a lively view of things. Well, maybe, but not within a few days that she's arrived, for goodness sake. She'd stayed like Catherine has. You won't like me, anybody saying that, and gradually understood what the strange royal family is like in the UK, and what things could be very helpful. But she wouldn't do that. She can't wait. We've seen that now for 5 years. Anything she wants to do, she has to do it by tomorrow.
That includes, well, cutting off Harry from his royal duties and family, encouraging legal battles that further distance him from the UK, also controlling narratives in documentaries, books and interviews. Levin claims Harry's identity has been, stripped down and rebuilt in Meghan's image.
So true. So true. There was also another moment, and I think what was great is that this was a moment of realization for Meghan Kelly during this interview, when I explained to her, and this is one of the moments I think why so many people feel there is emotional abuse going on, and why there is coercive control going on, because there is this moment, and we've played it already in our interview today, but it's the moment when you can see in Harry's face that he realizes that he's not the spare for Prince William any longer. He is the spare to Meghan Markle. Moment when he leaves the car and she walks in front of him, almost pushes him out the way, goes to shake the hand of the person who was coming to greet them. Now, if you were following royal protocol, which is obviously the protocol that Harry followed for his entire life, as the blood royal, he would be the person who got to shake the hand first. Now, I understand as Americans, you can say that's all stupid and everything, and in lots of ways it is, but that was the life that Harry was brought up in. And you just see his face, the color drain from his face. And it's like this moment of realization. I'm now the spare to Meghan Markle.
Oh my God, you're right. I was so
worried about being the spare to Prince William, but now I'm the spare to my own wife.
I had never considered that, but you are 100% right. That's exactly what he's done. It's like he needed to repeat the same pathology somehow. Yep. And she is meanwhile trying to have her cake and eat it too, because she's putting out this perfectly curated life on her stupid Netflix special, with her, I just had just the perfect bath salts and just the perfect tea and just the perfect pretzel and, the fruit spread that takes 8 hours to prepare. It's just what I do before school. It's the kind of mom I am.
And Angela, we've got to look again at that moment, okay? Because it is just so talented. Sometimes they say a picture tells 1,000 words, and it's that look on his face where he's like, not only, let's look at it again, not only is Meghan not putting me in front, I'm the royal, no one else even cares. It's just like, yeah, you just go on in. You just go on in. And then there's actually a clip inside the Time 100, which we can look at now too. And he's just there dutifully clapping.
Yes, it's quite a moment. But actually, if you think of it, how it's gone, it's run on cutting off a bit, cutting off another bit, and another bit, and another bit, and another bit. I think she's gone right down now to the ground, and that what she wants him for is for the name, that she can say, oh, my husband, Prince Harry, just that, and to keep that going. And then I think once she's got all that, knows she could do it without him. That's what she's been doing the last 6 months or so, going off without him, going to parties without him, going to the theatre without him. And she had 4 police cars, 2 of which were empty, just so she can go off on her own. And believing, I think wrongly, I hope it is wrongly, that she can now do everything on her own. She doesn't need him anymore, and she'll be off with somebody pretty soon. She's done it very carefully. It's all planned out, if you think about it. And it will be very hurtful for him because he's such a fool, how he's behaved. And he certainly won't want his parent to say, we told you so. They won't. But, you know, loads and loads of people have told him, we told you so. But I think Meghan is also saying what he can write, what sentence he can say. That's why they don't make any sense, because he might say, I want to go back to my father, and she then will say, well, you must have this sentence in it, it's very important. So he's got rubbish, so nobody can work out what it's meaning. But I think that it's all, you know, chop, 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 and he'll end up as on the ground, nothing.
Angela Levin's claims are bold, but are they believable? Is Prince Harry a willing partner in this media circus, or has he become a manipulated pawn in Meghan's royal exit strategy? One thing's clear, though, this story isn't over, and the cracks in the Sussex empire are only widening. Comment below. Is Meghan guilty of coercive control, or is Harry just making his own choices? Like, share and subscribe for more explosive royal truth bombs. We'll see you in the next video.